Okay. All right, we are now live. And I'm just going to wait a few minutes until I get a few people to come in the room. And whenever you come in the room, just type a quick comment in the chat. You can put anything, tell me where you're from, your name, and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So today's topic is why abundance can feel unsafe. And I have been getting a lot of questions on why this topic, and I feel like within the Black community, especially with young Black females, we do not have enough. And I feel like abundance and being open to receiving, it takes a constant person to keep reminding us that we are important, we deserve. And so that is what this community is here to do. So, the core message of why abundance can feel unsafe is sometimes abundance doesn't feel safe because it's wrong. It may feel unfamiliar because we've been more practiced at surviving than receiving. So, I'm going to leave you with that um, to think about. But welcome to our week 1 live stream teaching. I'm grateful that you are here, whether you are watching the live or catching the live replay. And before we begin, I want to thank everyone who has supported this work, shared a post, subscribed, left a comment, joined the conversation, or simply just took a moment to reflect with me. Every person who chooses to pause and examine an old pattern is helping build this community. And I have a few announcements at the end of this video that I'm excited to share. So we will get into it. And today we're going to be talking about something that may seem surprising. And that, oh, I see some hearts in the building. Thank you for the like. I appreciate you. Hey, Anasu, greetings. So I want to talk about something that may seem surprising, and that is why abundance can feel unsafe. Why can something good arrive, and instead of immediately relaxing, we become nervous, suspicious, overwhelmed, or afraid that it will disappear? And I know that that has happened to me a lot of times. Today isn't about diagnosing ourselves or forcing every experience to fit one explanation. This is an invitation to notice what happens within us when life begins offering us something different. And I choose to focus on this because these are things that have I have seen in my own life, and that I want to share tools to overcome. So before we go deeper, I want you to take a deep breath with me and place your feet on the floor if it's comfortable, and take a slow breath in, pause, and release it gently. You don't have to solve your entire life during this live stream. You don't have to force yourself to feel peaceful. The practice is simply to notice. So, in the chat, name one form of abundance that you would like to feel safer receiving. It could be anything from love, support, money. If you want more rest, type it in the comments. If you would like to see more praise, more opportunity, more peace, more healthy relationships. This is a big one for me as well, healthy relationships, visibility, and another big one, help. Asking for help. A lot of times, we cannot do that. So you don't have to type a lot in the comments. Just name the form of abundance that you would like to receive. Thank you for your comment. I appreciate it. So, abundance is not only about having more money. Abundance may look like having enough time, enough support, enough space, enough peace, enough clarity, or enough safety to breathe without waiting for the next emergency. And I hear the washing machine in the background. My apologies for that. I should have. Um, Anasu said she would like to see more wealth and good health. Those are good. Those are good choices. I also give me all of it. Health, wealth, money, rest, peace, opportunity. Um, so I want to share a little bit of personal context um, about becoming how a lot of people have become skilled at survival. Because a lot of people have become extremely skilled at surviving. Um, they know how to keep moving when things are uncertain. They know how to make something out of very little. They know how to anticipate problems, solve emergencies, care for everyone else, stretch resources, work through exhaustion, and remain alert. And these are real skills. They may have protected us, sustained us, or helped us move through very difficult seasons. But sometimes those same responses that helped us survive can make it difficult to settle when life becomes quieter. How many people have can feel that part? Like when things become quiet, you start to kind of either question it, search for a little bit of drama or chaos. I know that I used to be like this a few years ago, where I was looking for a lot of drama, and so a lot of times, peace can start to uh, be suspicious in a way. Um, so you people who are become skilled at survival may know how to respond to a crisis, but not know what to do when it's peaceful. You may know how to work hard for everything, but feel uncomfortable when something comes with ease. And you can drop a heart in the comments if any one of these resonates with you. Um, you may know how to give love, but feel exposed when someone offers genuine love to you. You'd be like that side eye, like, mm-hmm. Uh, You may know how to help everyone else, ding, 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 but feel guilty when you need support. You may know how to chase an opportunity, but become afraid once the opportunity actually chooses you. Okay, how many of us have went through that? But then you have to look at it as like, it's me. Like there's no one else. It's me here. So something that I like to remind myself of a lot of times is that you can become highly skilled at surviving and still be learning how to live without constant struggle. That doesn't mean that something is wrong with you, something is wrong with me. It may simply mean that peace, support, and consistency require a different set of responses than survival has always required of you. So then we have to start operating differently, choosing different ways to respond in order to see this reflecting in our world. So I would like to take a moment for the comments. This is for you guys to share a brief personal example here, only as much as you feel comfortable. You might speak about a time when something good happened, yet part of you remained alert, questioned it, or expected it to disappear. Um, there may have been moments when I realized that I was not necessarily rejecting good things itself. I was trying to protect myself from the possibility of losing it. And that distinction really matters. Sometimes we don't push away love because we don't want love. We may push it away because we don't want to experience another disappointment. Um, Sometimes we don't avoid opportunity because we don't want success. So I don't want to hear people saying that, oh, they don't want the success. No, that may not be the case. Some people may avoid it because visibility, responsibility, uncertainty, or change may feel overwhelming. Again, this is a reflection, not a diagnosis. Everyone's experience is different. So, part of the main lesson today that I want to focus on is familiar. Being familiar with something doesn't always mean safe. Okay. If you are still here at this part of the video, drop one of those hugging emojis. You know, the one where they hug you. Either way it goes. Drop a hug if you're here. One of the most important distinctions we can make is the difference between what feels familiar and what is actually safe. Peace, storm wisdom. Thank you. I am glad that you are here. So right now we just got into the main lesson, um, which is familiar doesn't always mean safe. Okay, we may be familiar with something, family, friends, um, doesn't always mean safe. Something can feel familiar because we've experienced it many times. That doesn't automatically make it healthy. It doesn't make it supportive or safe. And something can feel unfamiliar because it's new. That doesn't automatically make it dangerous. For example, someone may be familiar with inconsistent relationships. When a consistent person arrives, that consistency that they're experiencing initially can feel strange. You start to question it. Someone could be familiar with overworking. And if you agree with any one of these, put the 100 in the comments. Someone may be familiar with overworking, rest. Okay, this was one I struggled with. Rest may create guilt because you may have learned to associate productivity with your worth. Someone may feel or be familiar with financial emergencies. Having extra money may trigger the urge to spend it quickly, give it away, hide it, or prepare for an imagined disaster. The body and the mind may sometimes interpret familiarity as predictability, and predictability can be easier to manage even when the pattern itself is painful. And so a lot of times we don't always return to what is good for us. Sometimes we return to what we already know how to navigate, and sometimes that may not be safe for us. Um, so, chat, I want to know, have you ever known that something wasn't good for you, but it still felt easier to understand than something healthier? Hi, Gaia. It is good to see you in here. And thank you guys for sharing. You're not alone. See, you're not alone, and take what supports you and move at your own pace. That is going to buzz again, and it's going to be so annoying. But I don't want to get up and interrupt the live stream to kind of turn it off. Hello, Solar. Peace. Welcome. I just asked the community a question. So if you guys want to comment on it, I asked, Have you ever known that something wasn't good for you, but it still felt easier to understand than something healthier? Because sometimes being familiar with that old pattern may not be good, but then we don't, a lot of times we don't choose the good. Um, okay, I see. Receiving isn't always soft and peaceful experience at first. I tell a lot of people when they talk to me about abundance, because they think that it's very easy. Um, Healing, abundance in any form is never easy. There is a shadow side to any kind of healing work or any type of abundance that you're going to do. Like, some nights you may be crying, you might be on the floor, okay? But it is a part of the process that some people go through when receiving things that are new for us, that may be good for us, but that we don't understand, so we don't go towards it. Um, so when you notice those reactions, um, you could see some in the form of questioning the person's intentions. So when they come up to you, question them. If they are good for you, you question that. You may wait for something to go wrong. How many people wait for things to go wrong? You looking. You may feel guilty. You might. That thing is going off. Okay. You might minimize the blessing. I've done that before. Yes, I am calling you guys out. You may be immediately, so say for instance, I asked you to borrow some money, or you asked me to borrow money and I give it to you. A form of that would be immediately trying to repay me back. And like, no, like I gave that to you, like chill, like you're good. But you don't feel good about it yourself. There is a form of receiving that a lot of us block. So another way could be over explaining why you deserve it, becoming emotionally distant, creating a conflict. I've seen a lot of people, they, in order to save face, they will create a conflict for distraction just so they don't have to deal with it. Um, Spending money quickly, that's another one. If you reject help, overworking after receiving the support, feeling pressure to prove yourself, feeling exposed when praised, believing that rest has to be earned. The goal in recognizing these patterns within ourselves is not to feel shameful of these reactions when we see them. The goal is just to simply notice the pattern. So, one thing that I like to read daily are my daily recodes. So I create these in order to root my day in a good and a positive way. The day might be terrible at the end of the day, but I've already rooted myself. I have already told myself I am in control of this day. Nobody needs to do that for me. So one thing that I say is that a protective reaction is not always evidence that the opportunity is wrong. Sometimes it's evidence that we need more time, we need more information, support, or boundaries before we can receive it comfortably. And that's good. There's also an important difference between intuition and fear. Fear may speak quickly, urgently, catastrophically. I get a lot of people who talk to me with urgency, but it's not urgent. I'll be like, maybe, well, maybe some things are urgent, but I'm just really calm. But Discernment often gives us space to observe, ask questions, gather information, and make grounded decisions. We shouldn't ignore genuine warning signs simply because we're trying to become more open to receiving. Receiving doesn't mean abandoning your wisdom. Receiving doesn't require us to say yes to everything. Receiving and discernment can exist together. There is a thing that I always say to myself. I said, why do good things still activate fear? Um, Good things can bring change, and change, even positive change, can create uncertainty in all of us. A new opportunity may require you to be seen. More money may require new decisions. Healthy love may require honest communication. Support may require admitting that you can't do everything alone. Ding ding. Rest may bring emotions to the surface that you being busy all the time helped you avoid. Success may change how people relate to you, and peace may feel quiet when you are used to intensity. I can definitely relate to that. So the fear may not always be about the blessing itself. The fear may be connected to what the blessing represents for us. So I always ask myself after I reflect on that is what would change if this good thing remained? Who would I become if I no longer had to organize my entire identity around struggle? And what decisions would you need to make? What would you have to stop tolerating in order to stop, centering your identity around struggle? And I know that a lot of us do not like to admit, but there are pieces of that, especially for marginalized communities, that we see a lot of systemic pressures with. So, this is very important for us to kind of reflect and help each other out because everyone has a story. We have all been through things, and it's what you choose at the end. It's how you choose to respond, how you choose to overcome after that situation that matters. Um, so sometimes the challenge is not attracting something good. Sometimes the deeper practice is allowing that good thing to remain. Don't go chasing it out. I've seen too many of y'all chasing out good people and everything. Now, if they not good, if they toxic, go ahead. Bye-bye. We do not know. You are no longer welcome here. That is fine. Set your boundaries. Um, so if you're learning how to let something good remain, put a what do I want you to put in the comments? Put a fire emoji in the comments. So don't force yourself to trust everything immediately, but allow consistency to reveal itself over time. Take your time. Okay. If people want to be in your life, they will show you that. I always agree with the statement that in a way that love is an action form. Um, Over time, people will show you who they are, and we just have to tap into that part of us that doesn't ignore that. So, the next part of my discussion, which I mentioned briefly earlier, but boundaries. Boundaries will make receiving feel a lot safer. Boundaries are not walls against abundance. Healthy boundaries can become a container for abundance. A container helps us hold something without becoming overwhelmed by it. Without boundaries, love may feel consuming. Without boundaries, helping may become rescuing. Without boundaries, money may create pressure from everyone around us. Without boundaries, opportunities may demand more than we can actually sustainably give. And I've seen that a lot where women, they give and give, but it is not a reciprocal thing. And you have to watch out for that. A lot of people are very skilled at siphoning energies, and we will get into that in a whole nother discussion. But today we're going to stay on topic about why abundance can feel safe. Okay, so without boundaries, support may come with unclear expectations. Boundaries help us answer what I'm available for and what I'm not available for. How much can I give without abandoning myself? What information do I need before saying yes? What pace feels sustainable? What behavior will I no longer accept? Ding, ding, ding. I just heard a jet flying over. So maybe that may resonate with someone, maybe it may not. But what conditions will help you feel respected? And you can write some of these down and have like just a quiet reflection. I always tell people, don't start it all at once. Go at your own pace. You might want to do one question a day. It is a start. So let me give you some boundary examples. For love, that could look like, I love you, but I need for us to communicate respectfully. For help, it will say something like, thank you. I can receive this without promising more than I can give in return. Money, I'm not discussing every detail of my finances. You better get good with these. Like, because sometimes people be asking for a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not discussing that. It's a boundary. Opportunities. You don't always have to take the opportunities. You can say, I need time to review the agreement before I commit. So a lot of times we get into these agreements that you're just like, what did I just get myself into? The boundary, rest. I'm unavailable. If you want to rest and somebody texts you to say, I'm unavailable this evening, I'll respond tomorrow. For praise, just simply say thank you. Let the words land without deflecting or minimizing yourself. I had to do this a lot because sometimes when people would give me compliments or things like that, I would look around to see who may feel some type of way about it. So I would minimize and shrink myself. But we are not here to do that. We are here to stand in our power and stand in our purpose. Boundaries don't prevent love, money, support, or opportunity from reaching us. Let me say that again. Boundaries don't prevent love, money, support, or opportunity from reaching us. Boundaries help us receive without losing ourselves. They allow us to remain open and discerning at the same damn time. Okay? So, I want to slow down and reflect together. And by the way, I am still working on my stream. I'm working every day, and I have another announcement at the end of the video, so stay tuned. But I'm working on getting an integration where I can have more interaction with you guys so that you guys can come up. Maybe we can have panels. So that is on the way. So stay tuned. Upgrades are coming. They are coming fast. So for my people who are still here and in the chat, no pressure to answer any question. You can just choose the one that speaks to you. And I have 5, and you can choose to respond now or later. So my first question: Have you ever received something good and still felt nervous or suspicious? I repeat that one. So, have you ever received something good and still felt nervous or suspicious? If you have, sometimes the mind still needs time to adjust to a different experience. You don't have to rush yourself, and you don't always have to automatically push good things away. My second question is, which is harder for you to receive? Love, help, money, praise, rest, or opportunity? And I want you to notice that without judging. Love, which one is harder for you to receive? Love, help, money, praise, rest, or opportunity? And don't judge it. The area that feels hardest to receive may show you where you need more support, clearer boundaries, or just more practice. My next question is for comments. What does your mind predict when life becomes peaceful? Now, I do want to say a prediction is not always prophecy. Sometimes it's an old expectation repeating itself. So don't let that fool you. My fourth question. Okay. What boundary would help receiving feel safer for you? Maybe you need more time before making decisions. More privacy around your finances, not sharing so much, clearer expectations, or permission to receive help without a lifelong debt of guilt. And my last question. What would enough feel like in your daily life? I'm very interested in this one. What would enough feel like for you in your daily life? Not what would impress people. Hello? What would enough feel like in your actual day? Would it be spacious? Would it be quiet, steady? Would it be supported? Would it be slow, secure, clear, or just connected? And I do want to thank you all for sharing in the comments because these are honest reflections. So if you want to spend more time sitting with the questions this week, that's fine. You can go at your own pace and you don't have to share what feels uncomfortable for you. This is a very safe space. So I'm going to bring this lesson to a close. And as we close, I want to thank you again for spending this time with me. And thank you all for your honesty and your comments. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. Thank you for helping create a community where we can have deeper conversations about abundance without pretending that receiving is always easy. A side note, sometimes I talk to people about abundance, because they're very curious. They say, well, why do you talk about abundance? But there's always this fight, this kind of pushback or a bravado on abundance, especially for Black people. And because it's like we don't believe, a part of us don't believe in abundance, or like think that we got it all figured out. And so I just like, I don't want to ignore it, but I know that whoever does want the help and the guidance and the support of why we are reaching certain blocks that we do, because we don't have to act like everything is good. We don't. So again, thanks for helping create a community where we can have these conversations and not pretend. So another announcement that I have been excited to tell you guys, I've also created a school community for us to continue these conversations beyond the live stream. Inside the school community, you will find daily recodes, reflection prompts, and things that activities that we can do together, teachings, community discussion, and additional ways to practice what we're learning together. I'm going to be posting the link to join my school community, and it's going to be in the description. That community is free to join, but there is also an option to join a deeper premium, and that's a space for those who feel ready for a more guided integration. And of course, there's no pressure. You can begin with what supports you and move at your own pace. So I'm excited. The link will be in the description. So, um, for the next 7 days, I want to invite you to practice allowing one small good thing to land and feel good about it. It doesn't have to be dramatic. When someone compliments you, pause before dismissing it and say thank you. When someone offers appropriate support, consider whether you can receive it without immediately trying to repay them. When you experience a peaceful moment, notice the urge to fill it with noise. I'm not going to say that I have a problem with it, but I have a problem with it. That one, I have caught myself filling space with noise. Take one breath before reaching for another task. I be trying to do a lot to I say, hey, you don't need to do that. When something good happens, say, this is happening right now, and I'm allowed to experience it. You don't need to promise yourself that it will last forever. That is not something that we should do. You are simply allowing yourself to be present with what is good right now. So I have a closing recode for you all. And that recode is, you are not afraid of abundance. You may simply be adjusting to the feeling of having enough. Move slowly, stay discerning, let what is good become familiar to you. Peace, family. Thank you for joining me. Remember to like, subscribe, share the live stream with someone who you think may need it. This is going to get us up in the algorithm, and we will have more interactions with other people. And on top of that, join us inside of the school community through the link in the description. I will definitely see you in the next Daily Recode, because they come out every day. All right, y'all. So thank you, Lisa. I appreciate you stopping by. So I have a slogan that I usually say at the end, and it goes like this: rooted in truth, rising in abundance together. Peace, everybody. Thank you for joining my live stream. Bye.